Good afternoon, everyone. I'm June Riley, CEO of VC Task Force. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. As many of you know, VC Task Force is an organization that supports the venture community by addressing issues of the day. We have programs for investors, we have programs for entrepreneurs. This is a program for both. I'm going to turn the floor over to Gary, who will tell you more about today's program. Take it away, Gary.
Yeah, great to be here. Great to have all our attendees today. My name is Gary Fowler, and I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I am the CEO, president, and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, a premier AI and quantum venture studio located in Silicon Valley. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities aren't. Our job is to make the world a bit of a better place, create opportunities, and identify those promising companies and executives that can make their own dent in the universe. So with that, Muyiwa is here today. Muyiwa is a results-oriented professional, works in product management lifecycle, business strategy, business intelligence, leadership, development, etc. He's been all the way from British Tobacco, an internship in Nigerian bottling, all the way to today with an incredible startup called SmartUp Tech. And we're going to explore that in further detail. So with that, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, and Muyiwa, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Gary. Thanks for having me. My name is Muyiwa once again. Thank you. Currently, I'm an entrepreneur with keen interests with technological solutions in emerging markets. My background includes tech. My educational vertical is tech, but I have lots of experience in the commercial field. I've worked in different multinationals and different units and functions, from sales to marketing to corporate affairs to supply chain, procurement precisely, and all that. So all these experiences helped me to understand the value each of those functions add up to the overall business strategy of the multinational companies, right? And I'm bringing all that experience into my entrepreneurial pursuit, where I'm currently the commercial manager as well and CEO for SmartUp. My tech background helps me to understand what product management is. So I kind of marry that together with the commercial space, where we move from products up to MVP, testing, having our alpha and beta testers use our solution, give us our feedback, and we redefine those solutions and ensure that it's very wonderful for our IAPs at the end of the day.
Okay. Now that's great. So are you originally from Lagos, or where are you from originally?
I'm from Oyo State. Oyo State is very close to Lagos. It's the closest to Lagos, actually. But I have my background from the northern part. I was born in the northern part of Nigeria. So I speak the northern language. I speak my language. I speak the Igbo language. So I'm a typical Nigerian, basically.
Well, that's great. And, most people don't realize there are 206 million people in Nigeria. It's really a hotbed of opportunity in artificial intelligence areas like quantum computing, and especially fintech. So tell us a little bit about SmartUp and where you are today with it, and what kind of things that you want to do, and how you're really redefining the space.
So SmartUp is basically an edtech company that focuses on building formal and informal educational resources for learners all through their lifetime. And we also supplement educators with teaching and learning tools such as virtual classes, whiteboard services, and all that, to ensure that learning never stops, basically. At this point, we're trying our best to ensure that we close out that space. We have about 81 million people within elementary all through tertiary education in Nigeria. We have about 59.1 million people in the labor force. So it's a lot of market. It's a huge one here, and we're trying our best to ensure that we ensure everybody becomes a smarter learner at the end of the day, basically. Yeah.
So what are you teaching them? How does it work? Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, okay. So we provide these tools to educators and students, so students can learn on our platform to be self-sufficient. We have materials, tons of materials that they can learn from, formal and informal materials, to aid what they learn in school, basically. So for a student in, say, K1 all through K12, you can access our resources. At the same time, that supplements what you're learning in school, right? And informal education like data sciences, like financial literacy are things we are trying to incorporate into the system as well to ensure that kids are sound from, at an early age, all through lifelong learning, basically. Yeah.
Interesting. And so how does it work? How do you make money?
Our subscription, basically, we have subscription models, and we also have revenue share through partnerships. And we have some of our solutions are run by ads. So, we generate some funds from that angle as well. Yeah.
And how many subscribers do you have today?
Currently, we have about 8,000 plus, but we're getting 1.6 million kids are coming on board from Oyo State government. We just signed a contract with Oyo State government to provide our solution to 969 primary and secondary schools in the state.
Wow, congratulations. Wow, now, is that a paid contract? Are you going to make money on the contract?
So it's a paid contract, but definitely gives us the avenue to bring in the subscription package into this as well, so kids can subscribe directly on the platform as well. So it's both ways. Yeah,
that's great. And so what are your expansion plans? I know you talk about West Africa. So where are you going to grow? How's this going to grow?
So basically, we are going to move through, there's a lot of space in Nigeria at this point. Nigeria is very, very, very big. We're looking at 3-year plan to still be in Nigeria. The next 3 years, we'll move to the Anglophone countries. That's the English-speaking countries in West Africa, like Liberia, Sierra Leone. And after some time as well, we're going to move to the Francophone countries, where we're going to create this content in French language and also, move into those countries. So gradually, in the space of 3 to 5 years, we are looking at being in about 60% of Africa.
Wow, that's great. And what are you going to do beyond Africa? What's the goal?
Yeah, the whole idea is for every African kid to be able to compete internationally at this point. Mm-hmm. So I think after we are able to achieve that, we'll definitely go global, and maybe we'll come to Silicon Valley and work with you as well.
Wow, this is a great place. I'm looking at the mountains. I'm actually looking right up towards Stanford University as we speak. So
awesome,
literally right in front of me. So awesome. So how does it work? Let's say, a student's taking a course in economics or history. How does it work? What do they get from you that's different than what they would get in the classroom? And does it supplement it, or is it tutorial, or how does it work?
So basically, there are tons of resources, right? A typical one is the whiteboard lesson video. So it's kind of pre-recorded, where a student got to see, the educator explaining, but it's just the whiteboard and the educator is writing. So it eliminates distraction, basically. The student is not sitting there, just listening to the voice and seeing the whiteboard and all the explanations going on. Then we have tons of assessments where students can practice, they can time themselves, and they can practice theory questions, objective questions in topics, basically. So a student that is struggling with, say a K-12 student that is struggling with calculus, maybe integration or differentiation, can go on that platform, go to calculus, go to integration.
They're not the only one. I was struggling in it too.
Oh, really? Same here.
Yeah. I mean, I had tutors, by the way. So when I was in university, I took quite a few math classes, and I had, when I didn't understand, I understood that I needed to have a tutor and supplemental work to be able to get it down. And once you master it, you can go through it. So I think that's really interesting, and especially for students that are in areas where there's not a lot of help and they don't have the kind of teachers that you need. That's
Exactly.
fantastic. Now, how do you film all this? Because that's a lot of filming that needs to take place.
Well, at this point, we're not really filming yet, but it's something we are looking at as well, particularly for the public school students, where we're going to be having some kind of discounted rates, and we're going to be supplementing them with a lot of resources to ensure that even the marginalized communities, are not left behind. So we have plans in place actually from September to start filming out of school children that are going to be using our platform.
Well, what I mean, Muyiwa, I mean, in terms of on the whiteboard, people are writing. You got to
Yes.
film. Where do you film that?
On the application, on the same application.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's just one of the functional tools that are on the application for the educator to use, and the student also have access to it as well. So you can write and send back to your educator on the same application. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So collaboration.
Collaborative tools, adaptive learning tools, yeah, together.
And
Yeah.
so you're going to do the English speaking countries first. And then what's the population of the English speaking countries? How big is that audience?
Little, not as big as Nigeria, to be honest, but there's still some quite a numbers. Like Ghana, for example, you have about 30 million people. Liberia, you have about I think 12 million people. So we're gradually gonna hit those numbers as well, at the end of the day. Yeah.
Well,
And the good thing okay, go ahead.
How do you deal with countries that don't speak English or French, right?
Currently you're talking about East Africa and the like.
Right.
So gradually we have plans. So but we are hitting the English speaking countries for a start, then we hit the French speaking countries, then definitely we hit East Africa. Egypt is very amazing at this point. You want to ensure that you're also in the northern part of Africa. Egypt is really springing up. Eastern part, Kenya, Rwanda, fantastic place at this point. We have something to do with Rwanda very soon. But definitely we want to hit West Africa and, ensure that we cover West Africa before we move out. Yes.
No,
Yes.
that's great. Wow.
Yeah.
You've got exciting plans. I'm really excited. And it seems like well, how big is your team?
Well, at this point, we are not that big. We're a team of about 12 people, basically. But gradually there are plans, expansion plans, because we're at an inflection point at this point. We are growing as a company. With 1.6 million kids, we really need to do a lot of expansion. And that's even part of the reasons why we're fundraising at this point, to ensure that we cater to all the services. Yeah.
Well, that's another point. So we have a lot of VCs and family offices that watches Gary's picks. How much money are you raising, and when are you planning on raising the money?
We're planning on raising between $4 to $5 million in the next 18 months. Basically, yeah, 4 to 5 million in debt and equity, basically. Yeah.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, super. Well, it sounds like a lot of plans in place, and it sounds like you've got a lot of expansion opportunities. It's not easy. I mean, congratulations on a deal. That's incredible. Who closed that deal? Was that yourself or one of your team members?
I would say our team members. I don't like taking glory for myself. I mean, we work as a team together to ensure these things are done. So we did it together, Gary. Yeah, we did it together. Well,
congratulations. You did a really fantastic job, and the company's really making a lot of progress. So on another note, we see the incredible opportunities in Africa. Most people don't realize there's 1.3 million people on the African continent. One of the
1.3 billion, you mean?
Billion.
Yeah.
Did I say million?
You said million.
I was my mind for a second. I mean, it's incredible, actually. The 1.3 billion people in the continent and growing, and population under 30 is just incredible. So these are amazing times. And then you look at all the natural resources that are there, and just the gifted, incredible people, entrepreneurial, a lot of deep tech expertise, especially fintech, education. I mean, it's just an incredible opportunity throughout all of Africa. So VCs that are out there, investors that are out there, look at the African continent. It's a great place to grow and expand. Nigeria is, some of the most talented entrepreneurs on the planet. some of the greatest technologists that you can find, of course, throughout the continent, from North Africa all the way down through South Africa, from Egypt. I mean, it's incredible opportunities and untapped. So I see it, I was one of the first persons early in Russia back in the early 90s. So I went over to Russia and built the first accelerator there. And in
Awesome.
Africa, it's, I see that it's just growing exponentially. It's an incredible opportunity. And you're right about it. We got to level the playing field with education. We got to be able to take the knowledge that we have and to be able to create equal opportunities. It's not going to be easy, but it's absolutely key. People need to be able to feed their families all over the world. People need to be able to have a better life. People need the right kind of health care and education so they can have a quality of life. So, I applaud what you're doing. I've seen this happen, been around the block in tech for over 30 years. So you can imagine what you see during that time. And what you're doing is critically important, especially during this pandemic. The pandemic and the next wave, the Delta wave coming through. I mean, students all over the world have had to stay home and learn in their homes. And we've had to adapt and we've had to grow accordingly. At the same time, it's really, from my standpoint, level the playing field, because before we weren't really thinking about having, being able to educate at home as much as we do today. And it's just interesting. What about, what kind of devices? Because not everybody has a computer, right? So how do you go to other parts, and including here in the States? I mean, some people use their phones, et cetera. How do you teach them? Because out of those students are not all going to have computers.
Definitely. So what we do is we'll market our tablets. We have a 10.1 inch tablet, a 10.1 inch tablet basically that we market to schools as well. And really, data and devices are really getting into Africa. At this point, we're at about 88% data penetration, and devices is really coming in strong as well. So it's an application. You can use it on your phone. You can use it. You can use a tablet for it as well as having the opportunity to even have offline features. That's something we are looking at as well, to ensure that students have access to this solution, at least some functions of the solution offline, even without data. So, I mean, devices are really coming in strong. Yeah.
That's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to the top of the hour. What's your prediction for Africa in terms of the growth prediction in Nigeria? I know Nigeria's got, AI Saturdays. I know my partner Derek's been spending a lot of time there and working with the startups. What's your prediction for Africa over the next 5 years, Nigeria specifically, in terms of growth? What do you see?
Generally, I think a lot's actually happening right now in Africa. It's an inflection point everywhere. Look at Egypt, for example. I mean, right now, they're even trying to ensure that they empower women to go into entrepreneurship very well. There's this VC Algebra. They just raised a fund about 90 million to support just women in Egypt. We have angel investors in Lagos as well. We call them the Lagos Angels. They're supporting women as well. It's a disruption point. There's a lot of problems to be solved. The thing is, everybody sees this problem, so you're not the only one trying to solve the problem. A lot of people are saying it, and entrepreneurship is really gathering a lot of momentum thanks to the likes of fintech, Flutter Waves, and Paystack that really did a lot for us as well. So the youths are gradually seeing the opportunities with tech. Tech can help solve a lot of problems, from clean energy to health tech to agri-tech to everything generally. And you have this vibrant youth right now that are willing to collaborate, that really understand what collaboration is about, particularly those born in 1980s to 1990s. You see that collaborative spirit within us. We understand that we can't do it on our own. So you see someone that has a tech background is trying to network with a commercial guy, trying to network with someone that can invest. So all those opportunities are really coming up right now. And I mean, in the next 5 years, where Africa is really going to be, the place to be. In fact, it's a place to be already right now. If you have a product right now, you want to test the ground, you need to be in Nigeria, for example. Nigeria is home to about 200 million people. So if you sell luxury brands, you sell value brands, there's a market for you in Nigeria, no matter what you sell, you know. So, I mean, Africa
Really?
is,
So they luxury brands. I know when I was, first over in Russia, I mean, women were crazy about luxury brands and the guys, right? It was like they would go out and they wanted to get those luxury goods and products. I
yes.
mean, it started out with also with cell phones. They wanted to have an Apple cell phone. If they didn't have that, they weren't in. Is it the same in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's the same, though the percentage is a bit low compared to those that really have access to value brands, but there's still a market for luxury brands. So whatever you have, Nigeria is open. Nigeria is a place to come in and invest at this point. Yeah.
That's great. And so what about Egypt? You were talking about Egypt. So if you look at that part of Africa, what's really spawning? Why do you see so much opportunity there?
Egypt is the bridge between what's it called? The Middle East and Africa. Basically, there's a lot of opportunities coming up right now. In 2019, they had the best numbers in terms of entrepreneurs in the whole of the Middle East. About 149 entrepreneurs sprung up out of Egypt. Thereabout in 2019, they raised a lot of money, and it just continues to increase. So Egypt is it's somewhere you really want to look at as well. They have a young population as well, growing population, and I think Egypt is really solid. They have good in terms of getting things done in Egypt. I think it's a little bit more flexible. Right now, just like you have in Rwanda, it's easy to penetrate. They have flexible policies in terms of doing business. Unlike some, like Nigeria sometimes could be a little bit difficult, but you just have to find your feet, basically. Yeah.
No, that's great. Fantastic. So how do people reach out to you? What's the best way to contact you?
Oh, LinkedIn, basically. LinkedIn. Muyiwa Oni, LinkedIn, yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's super. So, we're coming to the top of the hour. So attendees out there, VCs, entrepreneurs, Africa is a great place to be. Do a focus on it. Look at Nigeria. There's a lot of entrepreneurs and investors. It's a growing community, exciting people just like Muyiwa, who are great, generating incredible opportunities, and more importantly, incredible companies that will be revenue producing. So it's an honor to have you here today. My name is Gary Fowler. I'm the CEO and president of GSD Get You Done Venture Studios. I welcome you to this chapter of Gary's Picks, and we will be back in another 2 weeks. June? You're on mute.
I'd like to thank you both. This is another excellent interview. I kind of feel like we have feet on the street in different parts of the world with you, Gary. And it's so nice to find out what's happening now. And this is real time. So this is something that I really appreciate having as being part of VC Task Force and learning about current things. So thank you so much. And Gary, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Now.
Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you so much. Thank you for having me.
Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much.